Digital retailing, when done correctly, could be your most powerful lead because the consumer is telling you exactly how they need to buy the car to make the deal work.
Welcome to Q the Next Leader. I'm Angela Rizzo, your host, here this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whatever time zone you're watching this. We're here with Bob Lanham from CarNow. I like to call him Bob Now, co-CEO. Bob, welcome to the show.
It is absolutely awesome to be here. And I'm not going to lie, when I woke up this morning and I checked my calendar, my adrenaline hit a little bit because it's like, bring on 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is when we're recording this, because I knew I was going to spend some time with you. So let's do this.
Oh my God, I love you so much. You're like,
Let's do this.
let's go have some fun. Okay, so I want you to tell everybody who you are, what you do, and how long you've been in automotive.
Bob Lanham, co-CEO of CarNow. I've been in automotive since 1997 when I cut my tie and sold my first vehicle on the showroom floor. It was a Toyota Corolla, where I worked at Toyota of Sarasota. In there was a mix of a couple of startups I tried unrelated to auto. And then I jumped back into automotive when I worked for CarPoint. For those of you that might remember what CarPoint was, ended up turning into MSN Autos. Then I went to Yahoo. Then I went to Hulu, Facebook, and now CarNow.
I love it. Now, Facebook Bob, we knew you as Facebook Bob back in the day. What made you make the leap from Facebook to CarNow?
It's funny. Most still know me as Facebook Bob, and I'll walk into a meeting or go, travel and fly and meet someone like, "You're Facebook Bob." I'm like, I guess I am. It's been a couple of years, but nonetheless, man, I had an absolute great run at Facebook. I was just shy of 8 years there. Had the opportunity to play a role in building the automotive retail side of the business. Spent a lot of time on the road, in front of dealers, learning from them, trying to help them helping us. But I hit a point, right? 8 years is a long time. I was on the road every week, a couple cities a week. And for me, Facebook gave back just as much as I gave them, I think. And I think it was just a time for me to make a change. I called three people. I wasn't in a hurry. I'm not going to tell you who all three were, but I called three people. One of them was Tim Cox at CarNow. I had met Tim, had co-presented with Tim, had present in many meetings, front or after Tim. And I had such great respect for what CarNow was doing, what they were building, most importantly, the people I got to meet there. And when they gave me the opportunity to come over, I jumped on it.
So now let's talk a little bit about CarNow and what value you bring to dealers. What problems are you solving for dealers? Let's hear the pitch.
Listen, I guess this is the pitch, but this is what we believe is fundamentally accurate, which is we provide solutions for three of the most important behaviors of the car buying experience for the consumer. Okay, and that first one is communication. Right? We know that people want to communicate with a business the same way they communicate with their friends and family. And how do they do that? Right here, right? They want to be able to connect with that business before they enter that business. We live in an engagement economy where that offline experience and that online experience has to be in unison, right? And where do people start that experience? And it's online. So back in 2014, Tim and three other founders created what was called Visual Sales Messenger, which is now essentially just our chat and messaging platform. And what's really interesting, and I'll give you, a lot of people will say, chat and messaging, we minimize it in the bottom right-hand corner, but I'm going to give you a stat that not only CarNow has, I'll be really honest with you, a couple of others, not many others, but a couple of others, that when on average, this is an average, you have highs and lows, but on average, about 80% of the time that someone engages with your store via our chat platform, our messaging platform, 80% of the time on average, you're going to collect PII. you're going to get a lead. So I always ask dealers, give me another behavior. I'm not talking widget. I'm not talking tool. Give me another behavior that has that high of a conversion. And I then ask them, why do you think that is? The person simply wants to understand who they're doing business with before they walk into the store because they know it is somewhat, and we're working on this here shortly, a time-consuming experience. Second, we provide a solution that accommodates the number one consumer behavior online, and that's affordability. I know what make and model I want. I know what actual VIN I want because I spend 20 to 30 hours researching online. I found it at said dealer. But before I go spend X amount of time in the store, can I afford it? And what solutions provide that ability to understand if they can afford it or not? Digital retailing, right? So we accommodate the affordability behavior that's online. Third, which I believe is the biggest transformation our industry is going through right now. I often state we're entering the second biggest digital transformation since the introduction of the internet. And that's the connection between online and offline, which is also referred to as the in-store process. Guys, consumers are spending 10, 15, 20 hours online. OEM sites, dealer sites, third-party sites. When they walk into the store, they don't want to spend another 20 hours. So we have to connect everything they did online. So when they walk into the store, they pick up right where they left off. Right. So those are the three most important consumer behaviors that we accommodate. We are launching a new offering in NADA, which I know we'll get to some questions there, that will help the dealer follow up on leads that go dormant. Right. So we've got all this very high quality lead volume that comes through digital retailing, that comes through chat and messaging, that comes through, showroom. But we also know there are leads that just go dormant, right? They don't get followed on. The consumer, we don't know what happens to them, where we will have a solution that powers the ability to reconnect with them.
This is very exciting, and I know that we've been working together, VINCUE and CarNow. You want to talk a little bit about our relationship and the kinds of things we're working on together?
I'll tell you, some of my most energetic, positive, fun meetings, I guess, just to say, is with your team. I've been to your offices a number of times in Kansas City. Was just at the new office, which is absolutely inspiring. Hopefully, you'll have a cube for me there when I arrive. I mean, it's
we have an office. There's an office.
I just want a cube. I just want to sit in the
Okay.
pit with everybody else. You guys can take the offices. But listen, we offer a solution that we want it to be as accurate as possible, right? When someone's looking to try to understand what the cost of this car is going to be for them, what the payment is going to be for them, one of the number one inputs that the consumer has to understand, right, to get to that accurate payment is what? Trade, right? Is trade, right? It's the number one quote unquote asset, even though it's probably a liability because it loses money, but it's an asset to the consumer.
Mhm.
How much is that asset worth and how is it going to help the deal structure? You guys have grown so fast. Your business is skyrocketing. You're signing on dealers every day. You're installing dealers, right? In order to provide that accuracy, we have to have your data. We need to power what's happening in store online. So we're simply, integrating and working together so that when someone starts to price out a car on a dealership that uses VINCUE, they're going to get VINCUE accurate information so that when they do walk into the store, it all aligns. And that's just the first step of working together. I hope people stick around and see what we've got here in the near future. But first and foremost, what you guys will all see at NADA, that we will be working with VINCUE to ensure that VINCUE is integrated in not only our digital retailing solutions, but our showroom solution and our chat and messaging solution.
Oh, this is really gonna be a game changer because you talk about the data. At VINCUE, we ingest data from over 40,000 dealers, not just the dealers who are on our platform, but from the market itself, right? So we have information basically on just virtually every VIN in the United States. We kind of think of the VIN as a medical record of the vehicle. So we can go back in the data and see, where did this car originate, right? How many times has it been sold? I mean, the data is just so rich. And now to have you guys tapping into that data, you're going to get accurate appraisals on not only the trade, but on the actual vehicle they want to buy. So the buyer's going to come in very educated and ready to sign. So you're going to take the sales cycle from, like, I don't know how many hours, days, down to minutes.
And Angela, listen, I'm going to, be a little selfish here on my side. Why wouldn't we want to work with one of the fastest growing companies in the auto retail space? Like you'd be not intelligent if VinCue came knocking, or you asked to work with them and you had a mutual experience that is beneficial for all. Like, why wouldn't you want to do it? So selfishly, we want to tie ourselves to your brand because you are by far easily one of the hottest platforms on the market. Not simply because you guys are great people, and you are, but your platform works. Like every dealer I talk to is like, I don't know why we didn't do this a long time ago. So we want to tie ourselves to that.
I love it. I love it. So what else is happening at CarNow? I mean, I see you on LinkedIn all the time. We're hiring people. We're moving, there's a lot of stuff going on. What else do you want to tell us about all the great stuff that's happening at CarNow?
Yeah, look, we just turned 10. So my last LinkedIn post was, saying happy birthday to CarNow and, giving a special shout out to Tim Cox, who we all know, right? Who also had his 10th, what we call carversary, right? His 10th work anniversary. And, it's a special moment because, listen, not many companies, I don't know what the exact statistics are, get past 5 years. And that's even probably higher than those that or lower than those that get past 2 years. So, we're 10 years old this month. We work with 23 OEM programs, right? Or certifications. I should say programs. They're all one and the same, right? We have 41 programs, right? It's just when you break out chat and DR, right? We have 4 integrations at a tier 1 level with OEMs. We got a couple more in the works, right? And a few other projects that are not allowed to be said on this call. And it's just an exciting time for us, right? We've got our chat and messaging platform that we continue to enhance, which you're going to hear about at NADA, how we're enhancing it. Our digital retailing solution, which we continue to enhance. A lot of that is through partnerships like VinCue and others that we bring in their specialty, right? We've got our showroom offering, and man, I wish I could talk about this, but I left a meeting yesterday with one of the largest dealer groups in the country who has implemented our showroom platform, and the success is absolutely through the roof. And if you don't mind, I want to get this absolutely accurate. I want to give you a quote from the #1 sales rep in this store. It's a high volume Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram store. I want to give you a quote from the #1 salesperson that uses our platform so you can understand the power of it. With all the customers I used it with, it gets me to the point faster, and customers seem to trust me more. Less pulling teeth, more confirming information than working with customers who've started online. Right. And this is the #1 salesperson at the store who understands trust and transparency. And the best way to earn that is just to pick up where they left off online. They finish the payment online. They don't want to come in the store and have this payment be 2, 3, 4x. They already know that you gave them a payment online. So that's really exciting to me. I told you before, we've got, this Reconnect solution that's going to allow dealers to automate lead follow-up. And then we've got a few more things coming down the pipeline. So a lot going on.
It's great. You talk about NADA. One of the first things I did is when we signed up pretty early for the booth at NADA, and we were looking at the show floor, and we saw where you guys were located. And so I called Connie at NADA and said, "Can I get the booth right across the hall from CarNow?"
I can't
so
wait.
we're gonna be next to each other, and it's gonna be a blast. I cannot
It'll be a blast.
wait.
It's going to be a blast. In a fun way, I almost feel sorry for the people that are going to be walking through our two booths because they're going to be like, wow, like these people are nuts in a fun way. Have a good time, which we do. But I think everyone agree, or hopefully will agree, but have our two companies that put the dealer first, right? I think that's the biggest goal is not only put the dealer first, protect the dealer, which is really important to us. And we can talk about sort of the role we play with AI or don't play with AI because we wanted to protect the dealer first. And listen, if we do those two right, we both make money. The dealer makes money, and we get to make a little bit of money, after that. So
Yeah, we're
I'm
all about
excited
the
for the
dealer
video.
body. It's so NAD is, I think it's going to be probably one of the best shows in the last few years because of just all the excitement that's building, and people are really we're going from people saying a few years ago, well, who's VinCue? I haven't heard of you guys, and now it's like, oh, we've heard of you. Show me, give me a demo, right? We're from Missouri. Show me, right? So it's going to be a lot of fun, and when dealers see the modern capabilities and the data, their data and the data that is presented to them, they're just blown away. So I'm super excited.
I can't wait.
Can't wait. It's going to be great. So let's talk about we find that the biggest issue in terms of getting dealers to come on to our platform is change. Like they don't want to change, right? Because they've been with this thing for 10, 15 years. What do you see in the market, and how do you talk dealers down from the fear of change?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's first say, what's the business phrase that's the number one killer in businesses, right? I've always done it this way, right? So listen, change is hard. And I think if you would, Patrick Abad, mutual clients, mutual friends, I was with him a number of years ago. I think I was still at Facebook, and I always listen. I do try to I love listening to those who we call on, right? Because they teach me so much on a daily basis. And he said if a vendor tries to walk into my store and say, "Man, we got the best product in the business, but you have to change everything you do." He's like, I just turn around and walk out, right? And I don't think any of our products do this. Do we need some tweaks, some enhancements? Absolutely. Right. But that's just the evolution of the car buying experience. That's not us forcing anything onto the dealer just because we wanted to retrofit our products. Right. We build products, right, to accommodate consumer behavior. We build products to accommodate the evolving change of how dealerships need to utilize data to be more profitable, right? So that's what we do. And what I just had this conversation with someone we both know, and I won't say who that person is out of respect to them, but someone that we both know, someone that was at your conference a couple months ago. And this person came up to me afterwards and said, I know, and they own a number of stores. It's not a single point, it's a number of stores. And this person said, I know I need to change. I know I need to evolve. What should I do? And I said, first and foremost, we don't have to walk in and retrain the entire sales team. And everyone shows up on the showroom floor an hour later and they're like, I don't know what to do. Let's pick one or two people. Let's just pick one or two people, right? And let's test and learn. Right? Like, let's figure it out. Doesn't have to be the number one salesperson. It happened to be for the store that we were working with this dealer group. That number one salesperson raised their hand, probably because they're number one, because they're willing to evolve. They're willing to change. So what I would say is be willing to test and learn. You don't have to right off the bat completely change everything you're doing. Just carve out one or two people, right, that will learn it, start to figure it out. Because then when they do that, they can be like, hey, Tom, you're going to see it's not that much of a change. We're just tweaking the process in a way that accommodates how the consumer wants to buy us. And you want to know what the best part is, Angela? When we both do that, they make more money. The dealer makes more money. And I get it. We've had people that have been in this business a very, very long time. They're ingrained through training, right, through experience that there's really only one way to do it, and that's not the case. We have to look at consumer behavior. We have to adopt, and when we accommodate to the consumer behavior, everybody wins.
Love it. So now, as digital retailing becomes the norm and it gets better and smarter, what do you see as the role of salespeople going forward? How do you think that's going to change?
More important than before, to be brutally honest with you. I mean, there's this conception that, man, we're going to eliminate, AI is going to remove jobs, right? And digital retailing, you don't need the salespeople. And that's not the case at all. Digital retailing came out. I was reading an article from Brian Pash, actually, a couple of months ago. And he made a really, really good point about digital retailing. Digital retailing, I think, did come out with this expectation that it was going to sell the car online. And that's not what digital retailing is. Digital retailing, when done correctly, could be your most powerful lead because the consumer is telling you exactly how they need to buy the car to make the deal work. All the inputs, the trade, their credit score, right? Down payment. They're doing that all online on their own time. They're telling you exactly how they need to buy the car. And all that data is captured. The dealer can see what is happening. And the role of the in-store person, whether it's the sales representative, whether it's F&I, whether it's one person because it's a single point, however you choose to do it, the role is even more important than before because you don't have to control the deal. You get to let the consumer control the deal and you facilitate, and you're going to see how that transparency builds a greater trust. The sales, the time in store gets smaller for the consumer, and for the cost of that convenience to the consumer is gross. It's proven. Everyone in our space, CarNow and others, are telling the industry, when you cut the time in store, you make more. Gross. How do you cut the time? You simply connect online to offline because that's where they're starting. Right? Like this isn't hard to understand. So no, we will need people in the store. I think of them as like, I know everyone uses Amazon, everyone uses Apple, but guys, they're successful for a reason. Like we use them as examples because they're successful. So what can we learn from them? I used to put a slide when I still have it, but when I presented in front of dealers, it was a picture of an Apple genius, the person in the blue shirt, talking to a customer. Well, we know that 90% of the customers that walked into an Apple store know exactly what they want. They went online. What size monitor do I want? How much memory do I need? What chip do I need that moves? Like, they've done it. Same thing with an automobile. Right, but the geniuses aren't trained to then say, no, forget all of that. Let's start over. I'm now going to control the sale. Right. They're there to simply remove buyer's remorse, or that perception that I had a bad experience before it occurs, because they're simply picking up where the consumer left off and helping them. I know you mentioned you wanted this trim because you liked X, but I also heard you say you have 2 kids and you need to keep them entertained through a long car ride. This vehicle doesn't have that package, right? And it's on the screen. Car's on the screen. Right? It's transparent. So long-winded, people aren't going away from buying the car. Now, I know there are companies out there trying to do that, who want to, try to sell solely online, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. It's too large of a purchase to have that happen.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Personally, maybe it's because I'm older. I like going into the dealership. But when I bought my last car, I knew what I wanted. And I went and I have to tell you that the finance process was a nightmare, because I had to go back 2 times because he couldn't figure out the title. So it was crazy. But then they also have a genius there, this 23-year-old woman who tells you all about the car, because I bought an electric car. And I go back to spend time with her to learn how to use the car. She's my Apple genius. And guess
And you
what? When I
can
buy
mer-
another car, I'm going there. I'm going
and we
there
can
again.
merge that. Yeah, and we can merge that, right? You shouldn't have to have a nightmare experience in the box, right? Like we
Yep.
can fix that. That's
Yep.
fixed. We just have to adapt and be
Exactly.
willing to change.
At the end of the day, this is still a people business, right?
That's right. 100%. It's the second largest purchase for most that
Mhm.
people will make.
In some cases, it might be the first largest because not everybody buys a house.
That's what I'm saying. You're exactly right. In many cases, it's the second, but for also many younger, maybe
Mhm.
it's their largest because they have to buy a house. And there's a lot of data. Like, yes, don't get me wrong, Tesla's done very well, but you still go to pick it up. You still get a delivery,
Mhm.
right? So I think there's something to learn from all the aspects, and then how do we build that experience that accommodates what the consumers. And look, dealers might have tweaked experiences. It doesn't have to be all one and the same, right? We can still differentiate, but the consumer does have a foundation that they want to have.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, so this might be self-explanatory, but tell me what motivates you to continue driving innovation at CarNow. What motivates you to get up every day and give everything you've got to the automotive industry?
Yeah, this is going to sound corny, and I get it, but I'll tell you, like when I sold my first car, and there's an award experience, right? You get your tie cut, right? Your fellow peers cheer, like it's cool, like and I got hooked the second I sold my first car, and I absolutely love auto retail. I absolutely love the playing a role in hopefully making the experience more positive, not only for the consumer, but also for the dealer. Because, like I said, if we accommodate what the consumers are looking for and we evolve on how we all utilize technology, right? And we improve that consumer experience. Not only does the consumer provide better satisfaction scores, but we make more money. And it's a win-win. People are willing to pay for experience or convenience, right? That
Mhm.
you're not robbing them. They're willing to pay you more money for that. Used to tell the dealers, 90% of the products in an Apple store you can buy for 20 to 25% cheaper at a different store. But why do you go to the Apple store? Why do you pay a premium for that product?
It's for the experience.
It's for the experience. Like once, and there are many dealers, so don't get me wrong, there are many out there that understand this. But once I think our industry understands that people will pay for convenience, right? And it's not like they're just price, 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 price. I want the lowest price. No, that's what we have ingrained. We create the negotiation because they do 20 hours online and then we make them start all over. Yeah, I
Mhm.
know it said 396, but it's actually 400,096, and then we'll work ourselves back down.
Right.
We don't have to do that. So hopefully you can tell like that this is what I love the passion to combine tech and humans in an industry that drives our economy. I mean, let's face it, like this is an industry that drives our economy, and I love being a part of it. I want to play whatever role I can play to be a part of it.
I love it. All right, last question. If you could offer one piece of advice to dealerships to future-proof their businesses and their dealerships, what would it be?
Follow the trends. And I'll give you an example. And I showed this in my last meeting. I just took e-commerce as a whole. I didn't take auto. I didn't take whatever, just e-commerce as a whole. When you look at the e-commerce trend, right? We're all tired of hearing COVID, but what can we learn about COVID? I drew a line on when COVID started, right? And what happened? Well, by default, because you couldn't really go outside or go into a store, e-commerce jumped. Everything gets cleared. We're all free. We can all go in the stores. One would be us. Oh, so everything just came right back down to the trend. No, everything got accelerated that trend. So we just jumped the trend. So now there's a bigger expectation from the consumer, regardless of who they work with. It could be buying a car. It could be getting a coffee. Do you know what the fastest growing category of e-commerce is? What is the fastest growing industry that is adapting to e-commerce, and consumers are using e-commerce in this industry where you would never expect it. Grocery.
Mm.
Why? The grocery was an experience, right? The aisles are structured in a certain way. You're supposed to follow the flow. Some people still love it, but grocery is the Instacart. Like, why are all these companies popping up that will my Kroger will, hell, they'll deliver it to you. You used to have to pull into a parking spot, text them to let them know you're here. Now there's like, we'll just send it. We'll just deliver it to you. So that's a behavior. I told this story in front of the team the other day. I said, guys, can you imagine if Starbucks, like, can you imagine if the Starbucks app, which I don't even know how many coffees are ordered through the app a day, millions and millions, right? Like million. But could you imagine if the Starbucks app, you went in, you plugged in your order, or you just clicked the order, you just reduplicated the order, and you walked into Starbucks, and the person's like, hey, yeah, you got to get in line and reorder. That would never happen. People would not use the app. Is it the same when we say on a dealership, when a consumer is on a dealership's website and spends hours making payments for a car? Is it the same when they walk in the store and we say, well, we don't have any of that, you got to start all over? I know we're talking about $395 coffee and maybe a $50,000 car plus, but there's a consumer expectation. So to answer your question passionately and long-winded, follow the trends, understand consumer behavior as a whole, not what you want consumer behavior to be. Understand what they want consumer behavior to be, then adapt to it.
Okay, that's genius. That's genius. You know why? Because I would argue that spending $50,000 on a car, that I should pay, that should be a better experience than buying a coffee.
Amen. 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 I mean, amen. But listen, like, that's why we both love this industry, because we have so much passion on what it is today, which is an awesome industry. I try to keep bringing people in. Like my son's soccer coach, young kid, just graduated school, doesn't know what he wants to do. His teammates, father or family, I should say, own a couple of dealerships. I said, Brian, go talk to Chris. They have 9 stores. Go work in auto retail. It is the best industry. You'll get hooked. You'll love it, and you can make some money. You can have fun. You can be successful, and the best part is you're as successful as you want to be. And that's what I love about it. Right? There's politics. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like there's less because it's, well, how many cars did you sell?
Right. Well, and that's just the sales side. I mean, think about it. Automotive takes you wherever you are. They meet you where you are. Yeah. So, whether it's service, parts, sales, there's opportunities out there for people who want to work. So much. So anyway, yeah. Bob, this is great. I could talk to you all day. I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you. Thank you for being a great partner. I can't wait to see you guys at NADA. Oh, we're going to have a blast. We're going to have a blast. So thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining Q the Next Leader. Bob Lanham, co-CEO of CarNow. Come see us at NADA. And if you're not going to go to NADA, reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you, huh, Bob? Amen. Bring it on. I love it. All right. Thank you.